I was so flustered in my unboxing video, I feel like I barely give you any details about this bag. The strap is here, so let's try this again. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. If you love luxury fashion, especially handbags, then you are going to love my content. Please consider subscribing to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok. My name is the same, at @rachelwentshopping. In today's video, I'm going to give you an update on the missing strap from my Fendi Marc Jacobs unboxing. I'm actually going to give you a few more details on this Fendi by Marc Jacobs Nano Baguette bag. I was very flustered in my last video, so I feel like there's a few more things I wanted to cover. We can go over what fits inside one more time, and I'm going to try it on for you. I'm also going to do a crystal comparison versus my Prada crystal bag and tell you whether I think the medium size at the $11,800 price point is worth it after seeing this little guy. At the end, I'm going to tell you about what my favorite items were that were actually released in this collection, or what I might buy if I had an unlimited budget. Everything will be time-stamped in the description, so if you want to see something specific, go ahead and jump around. Okay, so first I want to talk about the strap resolution. If you watch my unboxing video, you'll know that my item arrived to me without the crossbody strap. Now, a little bit of background information. I am a bit of a perfectionist and I have a lot of trouble regulating when something doesn't go as planned. So I was definitely flustered in that video, whether you could tell or not. I honestly even questioned posting that video, but I'm really trying to work on my perfectionism, and it was a real life situation, so I wanted to post it as is. In the grand scheme of things, it was not that big of a deal. I am just a weirdo. I hate being like a problem. Like, I hate that I had to text the sales associate that there was an issue. I just want everything to go as planned and perfect all the time. I definitely have trouble dealing with things like that because I automatically assume the worst. Like, oh my gosh, the sales associate is gonna think that I did receive it and I'm lying, or XYZ, but luckily I had recorded it all, so it didn't really matter. And honestly, I was thinking the most ridiculous thoughts because they resolved it super fast and it was not a big deal at all. So just to give you an idea of like the actual timing of how quickly they fixed this issue for me, I filmed that video on Mother's Day. It was a Sunday. I checked my text receipts. I texted the sales associate at 4:21 p.m. He responded to my text within 3 minutes at 4:24 p.m. He said that he was gonna look into it right away, and within 30 minutes at 4:49, he said that they were gonna ship me a new strap. So that was a Sunday. He said it would take about 3 days. I ended up following up with him on Tuesday. He sent me the tracking info and said that it should be there tomorrow, and it showed up on Wednesday. So overall, it took them less than 3 days to resolve this issue, and I was super pleased with the service I received. Like I said, I hate seeming like a difficult client, but honestly, the sales associate seemed unbothered. It didn't seem like a big issue. Obviously, it was their fault for not sending the strap, so I'm happy that they didn't give me any issue and they resolved it right away. So A+ for Fendi customer service. Okay, so here's the strap. I actually want to measure the drop length for you, but I'm not going to take it off because I put it on and it was kind of a pain in the butt with my nails to get it on. So how you do it is you string it through. I have it on the longest measurement here, so I put it on the top hole. You also have to get the strap through the loop and then stick it in that hole, so you see how it is on either side there. Let me grab the tape measure. Okay, I got this adorable crystal tape measure off Amazon. So let's see. So it's about 21.5 inches of drop, which I prefer at least 21 inches. So I was happy with that, but I will show you what it looks like on after I walk through some more of the details. So a couple things I wanted to show you before I cut these tags off. It came with this black tag here that says Fendi Roma Marc Jacobs, New York City. And then on the inside, it says the same thing, just a bunch more times. So there you go, black tag. And then this is the security tag. So it says, we invite you to try this item on without removing this identification tag and disposable seal. Items without the tag and seal will not be accepted in case of return. So this is just a anti-return tag. So I'm gonna cut both of these off. So I removed the plastic off of the handle, which you can see there. And then I removed the plastic on the beautiful baguette crystal encrusted FF buckle. All right, let me show you the inside because I didn't really give you a great look. So you've got the magnetic closure there. The top handle is attached here with these two hooks. It is nubuck, which is kind of like suede, so it's very floppy and heavy because of this buckle. And then on the inside here, you've got that same Fendi Roma Marc Jacobs New York City big label. And then in the card slot was a tag, which is the style information. So this says Nano Baguette, nubuck, crystal, Fendi Roma, you know, a bunch of stuff in another language with the style number information. And then it's got a UPC up here. And then inside here, it says made in Italy. And then on the opposite side, it has the serial number stamped in there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's stamped in there. I don't see their little RFID tag in there. So I don't know if it's like, you know, just hidden in there. I don't see it. Maybe they don't do it on small, if this is considered a small leather good, they might not do it in there. On the keychain here, there is Fendi branding there. And then I also noticed on the strap, little pegs there, there's also an FF brand, if I can get that to focus, which is a nice little detail. Then I'm gonna show you really quick what fits inside one more time. Okay, so I've got a few things that I wanna show you here. Standard credit card size. If you're going out, you're obviously gonna take at least one card and your ID. It would definitely fit two in the back pocket there, no issue. I also have this charge card, which is a phone charger. I love this thing. It's teeny tiny and it fits in there, no problem. Then a lipstick also fits in there, no problem. There, it's getting a little expanded with the charger if you feel like you need to carry a charger. Let me just show you how that closes there. And that's, you know, if you're taking an Uber, you don't need your car keys, that would be fine. I'm gonna take the charge card out, show you what it looks like with the standard lipstick. It fits no problem, much easier to close. If you prefer a lip gloss, I've got a pretty big one here. I think this is an old KKW one. That fits in the bottom there. Again, no issue. It's not poking it out too far. There you go. See how it's closing? No problem. And then I could also fit my car keys on top. Let's see. Yep, no problem. That is a card, a lip gloss, and my car keys, which is really all you need for a night out. So it's a decent amount of space. Also, I thought if you have like a mini lip liner or like a very used lip liner, you could definitely fit that in there too. So if you're not taking a car, you're just taking an Uber, you've got plenty more space for a mint, a chapstick, whatever else you would want to add. So even though the exterior is this nubuck material, the interior is a suede. So it's a little more of the classic hairy suede that you would expect to see. And then the strap itself is also the same nubuck material. I'm gonna give you the measurements. So it's 6.5 centimeters high, which is equal to 2.6 inches. It is 11 centimeters across, which is equal to 4.3 inches. And then width-wise, it is 3.5 centimeters or 1.4 inches, which is 0.2 bigger than the phone pouch as far as the depth. Let me show you what it looks like on. There you have it. Really cute little grab and go style. Ugh, I love it so much. Let's see if you wanted to wear it up like a little higher so you could see it better. It could be right under my chest there. Obviously, I am a size 18 around top and I have a bigger chest, so this would hang differently on you if you're smaller or shorter. I'm about 5'8", but I really like the way this sits. I think it's a really cute accessory. I'm so excited. I thoroughly inspected all of the crystals. Nothing was missing. It does not say on the website how these are applied, which is interesting. They do feel secure to me. I see like a little bit of glue remnants, like not like that bothers me, but I'm wondering, I feel like they're probably heat applied, which I think is very similar to the Prada crystal bag. Speaking of the Prada crystal bag, let's look at the difference between the crystal and the shine. Okay, here is my handy dandy Prada crystal bag. Here is the Marc Jacobs Fendi baguette. It's hard because I have lighting set up on either side. I don't want that lighting to affect it, but there you can see the difference. This gives off much more of like a blue rainbow tone. These are a little more silver, whereas these are a little more of that rainbow effect. Let me do it on the back without the buckle so you can see that. It's definitely got that blue, purple, cooler tone there. Let me see. Okay, hopefully that shows you a good enough example of what the comparison is. Honestly, guys, I am super pleased with this purchase, and even though it cost $2,000, this is definitely my favorite of all of the Nano Baguettes that I have seen from Fendi, and I do think that it is a good value for money. After I posted my last video, somebody commented, which let me pull up their name so I can shout them out. Okay, so the person who commented was 𝒩𝓆𝓾𝒾𝓃𝒾𝓃. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. But she said a few weeks ago, Fendi released another crystal nano that was very, very similar to this one. Small round crystals, same nubuck leather, and heavy silver handle as well. Only the buckle is different. I wonder why they released two almost identical nanos semi-simultaneously. Do you know why? She asked about me making a video about my baguette collection, which I promise is going to come maybe within the next 2 videos. I had not seen the bag that she was talking about. I pulled it up on the Fendi website and I'm gonna put it up on the screen. So it says Nano Baguette Maxi Handle. Check out the retail price on this bag, $2,550. It looks almost identical to this one, except it does not have the fully crystal FF and it does not have the mixture of the stones. I'm shocked that this bag is $570 more expensive than this bag. My assumption would be that it's much more difficult to lay out the placement of the round and the baguette taller rectangular stones, plus the addition of this much more expensive buckle. It almost seems like a mistake, either that this was priced $570 less or just the price of this other one in general. If you guys know anything about it, I read through the description. Everything looks almost exactly the same. Like she said, it has the same metal handle. Of course, it has the key ring and it comes with a silver leather strap. Nothing about that bag looks like it warrants a $570 price difference. To me, it just reiterates how much of a great buy this bag is. Tell me what you guys think about that down below in the comments, because I was honestly blown away by how similar yet different that bag is and how much more expensive it was. After seeing this bag in person, do I think the medium size for $11,800 is worth it? My answer is yes. You know, I don't have $12,000 to spend on a bag right now. If I had an unlimited budget though, I would buy the medium bag. I think that the way this crystal sparkles, especially as you saw in comparison to the Prada bag, it's just so different and unique. I love the spelling of the letters within the crystals. I think that medium baguette is a true collector's piece. It's a showstopper without a doubt. I think that $12,000 is a lot of money. I wish it was more in the 8 to 10 range, but in comparison to a lot of other $12,000 bags on the market today, like a jumbo Maxi Chanel bag, I would much rather own a $12,000 covered in crystal Fendi Marc Jacobs bag than a classic flap from Chanel. I'm sorry, that's just me. I love shiny, tacky things, sure, but there's way more craftsmanship and just price, I feel like, packed into something so exquisite versus a classic leather bag. That might just be me. I cannot afford that $12,000 bag, like I said, but if you can and you were considering it, but you were, you know, a little put off by the price, I do think it's worth it. Okay, I think that's all the details I really wanted to share with you guys in my first video that I kind of got thrown off and didn't end up sharing. So I hope I covered any questions that you might have, but if not, leave them down below in the comments. Now, last but not least, I want to talk about my favorite pieces from this collection as a whole of what actually came out. So not just the pieces that I had seen on the runway and thought I wanted, but after seeing the whole collection now, what pieces were my actual favorites and what do I think the best value was? So first of all, let's talk about the best value. My opinion, the best value for you to own a piece of this collection for a great price is the phone pouch. The phone pouch is $1,550. Let me tell you the measurements. 4.3 inches high, 7.5 inches across, obviously to fit a phone, and 1.2 inches deep, which that is 0.2 inches less than this 1.4 inches deep. So just FYI, it's really thin. It's literally meant to hold your phone and probably some cards. So I think for the $1,550 price point for a leather bag, if you love Marc Jacobs, you love the branding on the front of the bag, how it says the baguette, I think that's your best value. I posted several TikToks about this collection on my TikTok at @rachelwentshopping. Check it out. I got a lot of comments of people being like, well, A, that things were too expensive, which if you are a Marc Jacobs consumer, the Fendi price point is obviously a lot higher, but a lot of people don't like the writing, the identifying of the object on the front of the bag. I personally thought it was cute because it just brings such an element of Marc Jacobs into the collection. Obviously, if you don't like that, that wouldn't be the bag for you, but I think this is a really great way to own a piece of this like historic collaboration under $2,000. So one of my other favorite bags, you guys already know this, is the denim Maxi for $4,300. One thing I want to point out is that if I were to have bought this bag, I would have felt very much so like I wanted to buy the strap that the model was wearing on the runway. So there was a question when we saw that whether the strap would come with the bag or be sold separately. Obviously, it was sold separately, but it did release and it retailed for $1,190. So I love this bag. You guys already know all the reasons why I didn't get it. Maybe I'll get it someday, who knows? But I also feel like the strap was a great addition to that bag as well. Super cute. Love the way the model wore it on the runway. Now we have to talk about the neon accents because we saw neon accents in the show. There was that one boucle maxi bag that actually didn't release, but we did see the neon accents released in this actual collection in a much different way. So there was the block lettering, and then there were just some solid leather neon pieces, as well as neon sequins. I really loved the neon sequin bags. There was a medium, a mini, and a nano. I loved all of the sizes. It was kind of like a translucent sequin. I think it looked really beautiful. Not for me because I don't like the white leather accents. Aesthetically, I think it looked really cute, but because I just can't be trusted with white, it wouldn't have worked for me. Maybe in the nano size though, I think the nano didn't have the white leather included, but I thought those were really beautiful. One of my favorite bags in this collection though was the Peekaboo ICU petite size in the neon yellow leather. I thought this was beautiful. If you guys have watched any of my other videos, you will know that I don't own a Peekaboo, but I have always wanted one. And part of the reason why I don't own one is because it's, you know, it's getting up there in price and I want a Kelly and they're kind of very similar, but I think the Peekaboo is a much more modern version of that. Therefore, I would love to buy it in a vibrant color that's maybe not available or that I wouldn't wear in like a Kelly, an Hermes Kelly, for example. I think this is the perfect pop of neon. I love neon. A lot of people think it's tacky. I just think this bag's absolutely beautiful, but $4,700, not looking to spend that right now, but I am going to constantly be thinking about this bag. I saw in other countries, not on the US site, there was also like a python version, neon python version of this bag. We only saw it, I believe, I think we saw it in a nano Peekaboo on the US site, but not the petite size. I don't know what the price of that would have been in USD, but that would have been another one. I do like exotic skins. I love that addition of the neon. I thought that was a very beautiful bag. As far as the other Nano Baguettes, if you were looking to add something to your collection similar to how I did, it's sort of like you love nanos. It's like kind of like a little consolation prize. That sounds mean, but you know, nanos are a much more affordable price point. So if you loved the denim, obviously the denim nano is an option for you. If you loved the identification of the baguette, very Marc Jacobs, the leather nano is an option for you. Those are $12.90. Personally, this one is $700 more, but I've already explained to you why I think this is worth the price, even though it's astronomical. I do think any of the nanos are a really cute way to add something like this to your collection though. And if I were to have gotten the Maxi, I love the idea of hanging a nano off it, whether it's this one or any of the other two. I think it's a really great accessory. Other things I considered purchasing, the literal like twilly scarf. I think they just call it a silk scarf, but the twilly long shape in the black and white block lettering, that one's $240. I think it's really cute. Another way to add a piece of the collection to a black baguette or something like that. So I've definitely considered getting that. I still kind of have it on my wish list. And then I also wanted to call out the crystal Fendi First shoe. Obviously this was very beautiful. I am personally not a fan of the Fendi First wedge. I think it would make me look very off balance and I probably wouldn't be able to walk in it. I wish they would have done a crystal version of the 𝒩𝓉𝓈 shoe. I never know how to pronounce that. I know I'm butchering it, but it's a much more easy to wear style and that's something I definitely would have wanted to pick up, but unfortunately there was just the slide and the Fendi First. But if you can wear those shoes, I think those were really cute and another way to add the crystal to your collection. So those were my favorite pieces. I don't think I missed anything, but let me know in the comments what your favorite pieces were. I hope I gave you all the details you were possibly looking for on the Nano Baguette if you were considering getting it. If you love luxury handbags, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.